Well, hello everyone, Eugene with CW3 Drones, and welcome to the channel. What I want to share with you today is the Autel Evo drones, as well as the controllers and smart controllers. Now, one thing that you'll find that's common with the Autel Evo series is they all come with the standard controller, or at least the ones that I'm going to share with you today come with the standard controller. And the standard controller is kind of unique in the drone world because it has a built-in screen. So you don't actually have to have a separate monitor or use your mobile device in order to operate your drone or to be able to visualize it and see the telemetry that's coming in. If you do want to use your phone, it's a simple matter of connecting it up with either USB cord or lightning cord or whatever the connection might be for your particular phone or tablet. Now, the smart controller is one of the latest pieces of hardware that's come out, and this is the version 2. One of the things I like about it is that the screen dimensions give you a lot more real estate to look at. It's easier to view your work that you're doing. The smart controller also has a built-in fan to kind of keep it cool. It has a very bright screen so you can see it in clear sunlight. You'd be able to see it here, except for I've got a reflection going on at an angle. The smart controller I'm going to be focused on is the version 2, and it actually goes with my version 2 of the Autel Evo Dual 640T. The difference between the 640T and the Autel Evo 28K is the thermal camera. The thermal camera we're going to explore in just a bit, but other than that, both of these drones shoot in 8K, which is kind of cool. It makes things simpler and easier, so there's not a whole lot of change there. The thermal camera for the 640T gives you 10 different settings. Now, this is the view from the thermal camera itself, and these are the 10 different settings. When I view or show the view from the on the smart controller, I'm going to omit the Arctic simply because it's not that it's a little bit redundant. And when you look at these different views, you'll see that they all look similar to the one before it. The biggest changes is how the thermal energy is being represented. In white hot, you'll note that the hottest portions of the area, in this case it's a room, are shown in the white. In black hot, it's shown in the black. In the rainbow colors, you can see it in red, etc., and so on. Beyond that, you're still seeing the same picture. It's just being reflected, or the thermal energy is being reflected in a slightly different manner. So depending on where you are, if you're outdoors and you're looking at foliage or looking through foliage, or you've got a lot of other noise or other types of information that's being tossed at you, you may cycle through all of the thermal camera views in order to get the one that you're looking for that best represents your particular workflow. Now, in the controller view, and this is from the smart controller, although on the standard controller it's very similar, you would see these same types of imagery. It's just represented a little bit bolder and broader. Again, you've got the white hot, the black hot, rainbow, etc. And then you have a lot of other information that's being provided to you on the screen itself. We'll unpack that in just a moment as well. Again, down here I've omitted the Arctic view, but you could understand what the Arctic view, or how the Arctic view might be slightly different than the other 9 views. So to begin with, one of the things that I found necessary was to change the temperature setting. Right out of the box, the Autel Evo 640T comes, or at least the one that I have, comes with the scale, or the temperature scale, listed as Celsius. And while Celsius is not difficult to compute, I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to find out or figure out how to change it from Celsius to Fahrenheit. And a big shout out to John Bush, who provided this information to me. And so I'm just walking through it so that anybody else who might have come across this will know how to do it. Now, when you're looking at your smart controller, one of the first things that you'll note is the icon over here. Now, this is the camera view, and this particular one looks like an eyeball is the RGB view. You have to change the RGB view, and you just simply click on it, and when you do, you'll get the reticle scale, of course, to let you know that you've identified it. And then once you've identified or clicked it, you'll get these three different views. So you have the RGB view, you have the full thermal view is how I look at it, and then you have the picture-in-picture. What you'll want to do is select either one of these two, either the full thermal or the picture-in-picture. I'm going to select the picture-in-picture, and then when I do, I get this picture-in-picture view, and you can see that I have a thermal image and the heat here on the reticle scale. If you notice, the same type of reticle scale, and it's focused in on, or rather, it's represented as Celsius. So to change it from Celsius to Fahrenheit, the first thing you'll want to do is click on this camera icon. It may or may not look like a camera icon to you, but it is a camera icon. Once you click onto the camera icon, it'll take you into the camera settings. At the top of the camera settings, you can see the brightness, contrast, and some of the other things that are there. What you'll want to do is scroll down till you get to the temperature unit. You'll note that the unit is represented as Celsius, and then you simply click on Celsius and you'll get the choice between Celsius and Fahrenheit. All you have to do is click on Fahrenheit and then click anywhere into the screen, and it'll return you to your screen itself. So before we had seen the temperature being represented as Celsius, and now. And finally, I'd like to just point out a few things with regard to some of the other information you can see here on your screen. For instance, the reticle scale that you see. When you click on the reticle scale, you'll get one of three options, or two options, if you will. The first option is, of course, the point-specific one, but then before we get to that, I want to actually talk about this frame right here. This frame actually controls this big frame. And what it does is once you click onto it, it gives you this left and right, up and down, or north and south, east and west, if you will. And it adjusts this picture to make it larger or smaller, and gives you more area or more specific area to focus in on with regard to your real estate. It helps you maintain some sense of what it is you're looking for, particularly after you've taken imagery. It's useful to assist in kind of focusing your information. The last two bits are the reticle scale, as I've already mentioned. The second reticle scale is a box within a box. It's just a targeted reticle scale. But then you have this image down here. Now this image is really useful because it shows within your target area what are the hottest and what are the coldest areas, or looking at it from temperature wise. Red means hot, of course. Blue in this case means cold, and interestingly enough, what's cold or colder than the coldest area that's being measured is in this case at the top, and the warmer areas down at the bottom. The other thing you'll note is that this temperature, because we've already changed it from Celsius to Fahrenheit, now everything is in Fahrenheit. The system automatically gives you the choice and changes or provides you with an average temperature if that's necessary. And that would be useful when you're doing things with regard to agriculture, or looking at plant health, or crop growth, those types of things. Having that average temperature might be useful, as well as if you're taking a look at water. Well, that's all I had for you with regard to this brief tutorial. I hope that you found it useful, and if you would, just leave a comment in the comment block of what you'd like to see more of, and I'd be more than happy to share what I know. Hey, thanks a lot. Have a great day.